Hi, I'm Pastor Joseph from Culpeper Presbyterian Church. Our congregation is called to cultivate a community of faithful disciples, and that includes our online community as well. Each month we'll upload a video devotional led by one of our members so that we can mutually encourage one another while we're together in this digital space. Be sure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any of our opportunities to learn, live, and share the teachings of Christ. Now, here's this month's Love from Locust in Maine.
Hi. Back in 2009, I swam a 1-mile open water swim at Smith Mountain Lake as part of a relay team for an Olympic triathlon. For a relay, I was just doing the swim, Fred was doing the bike, and a friend was doing the run. It was a chilly, rainy September morning, and I had to wear a wetsuit. So I had never worn a wetsuit before, and I borrowed one from Bruce Redman, actually. He being a male friend, I didn't realize at the time that male wetsuits don't have the room in the chest like a female wetsuit would be. So it was pretty tight and constricting. And when I got out on the water, I had a slight panic over it. Before the race, physically, I was prepared to do this race. I had trained all summer long. And although I had never swam a 1-mile competitive swim before in open water, I knew that I was capable of doing it. As the race began, my heart began beating very fast. There's a lot of people out there smacking around in the water. I started to panic. I couldn't breathe. I wasn't able to swim with my face down. I was floundering around on my back trying to get my air. And I became a little disoriented too as I flipped forward and backward and tried to swim. And I kept thinking, I've got to get this wetsuit off. My mind was totally consumed with that thought. I could see myself sinking to the bottom of the lake, and it was all because I thought I was trapped in this wetsuit. The swim is a great big U shape. You go out to a buoy, you hang a right, you go straight across, and you come back in. The day was kind of gray, which affected the lighting and a little bit of my disorientation because I couldn't quite get my surroundings down. When I got to the first buoy, there was a man in a kayak, and he said, "Are you okay?" And I started to reach for the kayak, and I said out loud, "I've got to get this wetsuit off." And I began to reach behind me to try to unzip it. I'm in water up to here. I have no idea how deep it is. And as soon as those words came out loud, and I made the motion to reach behind me, I realized there was no way I could take this wetsuit off in the water. So in that moment, I had to tell myself, you need to commit to this and do it. You know how to do it. You've been training to do it. There's no reason why you can't do it. So I slowly began to find my rhythm. And when I'm out in that water, it's just me, God, and the darkness of the water. So there's a lot of praying going on. There's a lot of constant conversation. But I have to admit, I'm not so sure I was having that conversation in the beginning. I also, again, as I mentioned, experienced some confusion and disorientation. But I told myself, you know how to do this. You've trained all summer. Put your head down and swim. And in that moment, I could feel the current change, and I began to take control of my body and thoughts. By the time I came around that last buoy, I was really breezing right along, and all was good with the world. I was strong, powerful, and unstoppable. I had committed to the cause, and I had faith in my ability to finish the race. When I finished the race, I realized I had actually finished in one of my fastest times for the whole summer. I had done it in 33 minutes. And in that 33-minute period, I lived through anxiety, panic, fear, confusion, disorientation, commitment, peace, strength, and faith, all in that period. I could do that race. I was prepared and I had trained all summer to swim that distance. All I had to do was swim for 33 minutes. I've exercised straight for 8 hours, 10 hours, and even more. But I had lost my faith in myself, my faith in God even, and I had let fear and panic overtake me. I wanted to give up. And as soon as I committed back to finishing the race, my faith was restored, and I was strong and unstoppable. Much like what God asked us to be, committed and to stay faithful, and in return, His power is awesome. It is unstoppable. Sometimes we get so bogged down with the negative, the worry, that we focus so much on what we can't do, as in, I can't swim in this wetsuit, that we forget about what we can do and what our goal and objective is. We forget about God's constant presence. And once I made the commitment to the race and regained my faith in myself, my abilities, my faith of God is constantly with me, then I was able to achieve my goal and achieved it even better than my expectations. God asks that we trust in Him, not to worry over the small things, to seek comfort in Him, and to know that He has a plan and His will is the way. Let go of the negative and maintain your faith. For me, my faith is a constant journey. It will never be the destination. I live it and pray with it and talk to God on a regular basis. So from Psalm 27, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked advanced against me to devour me, it is my enemies and my foes who will stumble and fall."